Hello mortals, this is Ran Wizard and welcome to the Ran channel. Today I'm going to be continue playing Magium. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to talk about two things first of all. So I'm not moving on to book 2 just yet. After this video I will be moving on to book 2. If this video is too big, we might cut it into multiple parts, but whatever. We'll see. The other thing is that I will suggest you go and check out the achievements. If you're playing this for yourself, go and look up a guide or something and try and get the achievements. I did not get all 35 because I literally went insane halfway through. It took me a couple hours, honestly, lollygagging around, and I was able to get like 25 of them, which is required to get the next book. But yeah, other than that, I would recommend checking out the achievements yourself. They are pretty cool. Like, some of the achievements are very interesting. Like, there are moments where you can like, for example, the Cutthroat Dave fight. You can actually defeat Cutthroat Dave on your own if you put right amount of points into right amount of things. Like, if you put in strength, you will actually be able to defeat Cutthroat Dave on your own. If you have put in like right amount of point in like toughness and like in strength and weapon proficiency, like combat proficiency, you can actually will be able to defeat the whole 100-man crossbow squad at the start of the game, where you were going to defeat when you were attacked, when you were with who was it, Kate? Yeah, when you were Kate, you were attacked with like 100 crossbowmen, and you can actually defeat them on your own without help from Kate or Darren. And yeah, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So you can check out various things. You want to check that out. What I'm doing in this video today, before we move on to the next thing, what we're going to do is we're going to go through every single chapter, all 11 of them. I pulled up a guide here. I will leave a link to the guide in the description, and you can take a look at the guide. And yeah, so I'm not gonna read everything again, obviously, because I've already done this whole book. But I will be reading out anything new that comes up, and I will be showing you what choices you should make as we move forward. So the first choice is here. The first choice is, what sort of feeling you're feeling. Now, this is not in the guide because the guide only shows like what important choices there are. So every side choice I will just make on my own, and I will just show what I'm doing arbitrarily in that moment or whatever. Now, this is the first choice where they're asking is like, what do you feel because you went away from your normal life and you're immediately entering into like a super mage contest where a normal person would be stupid to be entering. So what would you feel? If I was a normal person, if I was entering, I would honestly feel afraid. I don't know why would I even enter. I probably wouldn't even enter, but I would probably feel afraid if I did all that. But I've not picked this option before, so I will try to read a little bit of it. Afraid. Deep down, I always knew this would happen. I've been spending the past few weeks getting mentally prepared and making plans, telling myself I was ready for whatever this tournament is going to throw at me. But once I got here, once I knew there was no way back for me to go back, all my confidence turned to uncertainty and all my courage turned to fear. I'm going up against the strongest mages in this world. No amount of planning could ever make me prepared for this. But it's too late to change my mind now. I've had enough time to back out of this before coming here. I'm going to win this tournament against all odds. I'm going to do it. I just have to. Alright, that's just all the new there is. After this, it's just gonna continue with what it usually does. That's how the paragraphing in this works. Now this is very interesting one. You can actually show your. I think if you stay silent, they just throw a dagger at you and you die immediately, because I feel like I did die in this moment. You can show yourself and you can not show yourself. If you don't show yourself, there's actually something changes in like chapter 4 or 5 when Aiden shows up later. Yeah, something changes because Dave does not know your face, so he thinks Aiden is the Stillwater that he was talking to. So apparently the guide says that I should not show myself. This is the ideal guide, I believe. I'm not sure what sort of choice they are making. I might not agree with every single one of them. If this guide does not go the way I want it to go, maybe I will change stuff on my own later. But yeah, we will decide which one we want to continue with into book 2. We'll see. I see no reason to show myself to you. I tell him. As he pinpoints my location from the sound of my voice, the mage makes a rather long pause before speaking again. A Stillwater, eh? He says finally. He tried hard to keep his composure from when asking his question, but the tremor in his voice betrayed him. He's afraid. His current yeah, this is the same. I'm pretty damn sure I've read this. I may not read this. His sudden change of attitude towards me is completely unexpected. Is not completely unexpected. The existence of Stillwaters is one of the main reasons I've dared to dream that I might have a chance to win this tournament by bluffing. Yeah, everything else is the same. Yeah, this is the one I found out later when I tried to try to count in front of him and he killed me. So I do know this one. We have already picked this one, so I'm not gonna read everything in here. So we're just gonna imply that we are the one who destroyed the city of Olmnar, which we later know is actually Aiden. Now in this situation, you are supposed to tell him that you're actually an ordinary human. I didn't tell him, which later got me an achievement when he later found out on his own. I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. That's what happened in my actual playthrough that I played myself. We're gonna tell him I'm an ordinary human. It doesn't really affect us, but if you tell a lie, it will affect a little bit, nothing too much. But yeah, tell him actually I'm an ordinary human being. I'm not a Stillwater, Darren. That thug just assumed I was and took advantage of the situation. We're not one of the locals either, otherwise the spell of theirs would have alerted us the moment we sense your presence. He's talking about the spell the organizer of the tournament cast on each of the participants before teleporting us here. We aren't allowed to hurt the humans that live in this continent, so the spells warn us when one of them is near. If what they said can be believed, the spell is supposed to stop us even when we try hurting any of the locals. If it's accidental, then it simply stops us before doing it. If it's intentional, it eliminates us from the tournament and sends us back. I mean, that's a way to get back, right? I mean, if he at some point he detects that he cannot like I mean, later Aiden took away that ability from us, but at this moment he can technically, he says he has no way back, but he actually does have a way back. He can just have to find a local and attack them, and he will immediately be sent out of sent out of this area. Back to the because they're not eliminated, they're not killed when they attack. So we have seen this, they're just teleported out of the tournament back to the wherever the other continent is. So the spell is also supposed to act as a means of communication with the organizer. They say they transmit the objective to each us individually. It's funny, all those careful preparations on their side, and they never even bothered to check if I was a mage or not. Hell, what am I saying? They probably didn't even care. So you must be the participant then. Darren continues. What reason would you have to participate in a tournament against the most powerful mages in the world? Yeah, it's the same. He just talks about, I've read this. He talks about he wants to get the Magium, and then Darren is like, hey, yo, what the fuck? That's kind of, that's kind of stupid of you. Why would you ever participate in a tournament like this? So we're just gonna tell him the truth at this point. Wait, hold on, let me check first. Yeah, you do tell him the truth here. Tell him the truth because it will give you a achievement actually, that you are honest. Honesty is the best policy is the achievement you get. I already gotten it, so it doesn't show up here. I'm after the same thing as you, Darren. I tell him I wish this game had a better saving system, honestly, and like a system where you can access directly chapters that you want to access instead of going back and forth and creating multiple timelines. It's very difficult when you're getting the achievements. After the same thing as you, Darren. Yeah, I just tell him that he is Magium that we are after. Then Barry's like, oh man, come on, you're lying. Then he's like, oh, he looks at us and he's like, oh, you're not lying. By the gods, you're being serious. Barry, I commend your bravery and determination, but you realize you can't win this entire tournament just by bluffing, don't you? Of course I know that, but that's not the only ace I have up my sleeve. But what about you? They say the strongest one of the mages in the world. Oh yeah, we all read about this because Cutthroat Dave is better than him because he does not have a shield spell, proper shield spell compared to most people. So we're in chapter 2. This is the point where you are talking to Kate. You're with Darren. You're talking to Kate, and Kate is asking like, what are you guys whispering over there? We were actually whispering about Darren was like, she's a banshee, we should kill her, or purifier or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't know, we should let her go or whatever. So in this situation, when she asked, what are you talking about? Deciding which one should make a pass at her, but you should say, because that will give you an achievement called Smooth Talker. She just gets a little bit angry in this situation. I've read this because I got the achievement. It's basically, well, let me just read it for you. We were trying to decide which one of us should make a pass at you, I tell her. We're just about to play rock, paper, scissors for her. Would you do us the honor of arbitrating our match? The woman is clearly upset about my comment. She is trying to control her frown and appear unfazed, but her anger is visible enough. I'm wondering if I went too far with my joke, but at least she doesn't appear to be doubting my words. She decides to ignore me completely and address Darren instead. You didn't answer my question. I was asking if you are Darren, the healer in armor. I am indeed, answers Darren. What business would you have with me? So yeah, this is basically the same after that. And here's another arbitrary thing where you can just pick any option. It doesn't really matter which one of these pick. It doesn't affect the story at all. If you ask this one, quick to trust Darren, she's gonna say Darren is like popular and we know that he is famous hero or whatever. I have no idea who you are. we should trust her. That would be Darren's point, that she's a banshee, and ask her what she got against me, and she just gives off some fuck all reason because she's against Stillwater. Right. She's against Stillwater. Let's ask this one. You're saying you can't trust me, but I don't see why either of us should trust you, I tell her. But if you're not in fact looking for a friend and you're just here to win the tournament like every other participant, what proof do you have to back up your claim? I'm not, I just... she hesitates. Whoa, let's all calm down, says Darren. She turns to the woman. Listen, understand, you can say, yeah, it's the same thing.